this is the one I really want to talk about. Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz. I wanted to get right into this.
Yeah, bro. I don't know if I've ever been more frustrated watching the end of a fight before. And here's the thing. I like Leon Edwards. I think it's pretty fucking crazy that you can win 9 fights in a row, have 10 fights, win 9 of them, be dominant in the 10th or in the fight against Bilal in the first round. Like, this guy could have potentially won 10 fights in a row, and he's still not the number one contender in this division when you got a chump like Colby Covington, who has beat, Tyron Woodley and Robbie Lawler after coming off a loss to the champ. Does this make sense to anyone? Nope. I mean, I know Kamaru Usman and him went 5 rounds, and it was a great fight, yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, dude, we're talking about a guy who's won 9 fights in a row. This is the second consecutive longest streak right now in the UFC. Why is Leon Edwards not the next in line? Can anyone tell me here in this room? Doesn't make any sense to me. And Dana doubled down. Did you guys hear that? At the press conference, he goes, nope, Colby's number one contender. He's taking on this fight. I think it's egregious. I think it's one of the stupidest things, and it just pisses me off because Leon Edwards deserves it. I mean, he all but dominated this fight up into that 5th round where he got caught. And absolutely, Nate could have finished the fight. We could be talking about something completely different here. But I just don't understand why these guys don't get a fair shake. I mean, Tabor, you brought it up off air, like before we started. I feel like this is the Tony Ferguson situation where this guy's just got to keep winning and winning and winning until eventually he loses, and then he'll never get a shot. It's not fair, man.
Yeah. And I understand from the business perspective. I guess I understand it. Like, who's going to make more money, Colby Covington or Leon Edwards?
Yeah, and I understand
it's Colby, but it doesn't matter. When you're on a fucking 9-fight win streak, it doesn't matter if you're bringing in numbers or not. You're the second best guy in the world.
Yep.
I mean, if you had to put Leon Edwards and Colby up against each other, I'm leaning Leon. He's got such good striking and a great wrestling background, great defense. I think he dominates everywhere. Let's talk about this, though. What was up with that game plan with Leon? Was he giving Nate too much respect, or did he know, hey, I want to send a message to Usman and show him I got 5-round cardio and I could dominate 5 straight rounds? Because he pretty much was until he got caught by that big 1-2 by Nate. And before I even move on from there, Nate, what are you doing, my guy? You're about to get the finish, and you point at the guy, and you try clowning him, you laugh, and then you get in the clinch situations?
It would be one
thing. With 30 seconds left in the fight?
I just don't get it. It would be one thing if that was like round 1 and he caught him and he saw him stumbling.
Yes.
And then he does that because he's like, bitch, this is only the start of the fight. But it's like you've been dominated for 4 rounds and 4 minutes of the fight. In the last minute, you have an opportunity to finish the fight, and you do the point and then the arm thing that he does where he like flexes. And I'm like, bro, you have like 45 seconds now.
So
and then, as you just said, clinched up with him on the fence for the last 30. And I'm like, I just don't understand the strategy, and I don't understand why you wouldn't try to finish. And did you see what he said afterwards? He goes, well, if that would have been a street fight, this guy was sleepwalking.
Yeah, and I would have won. I won that fight.
It's not a street fight. It's not a street fight. Yeah. It's a professional MMA 5-round fight. Like, dude, you lost. It doesn't matter if it's a street fight.
The fucked up thing is now he's got clowns in his ear saying, yeah, you won that fight. You won that fight. You almost finished him in the 5th round. And it's like, yeah, but you lost. You got dominated up until then, and then you didn't have the wherewithal to go and actually try and get the finish at the end. Yeah. Instead, you wanted to look cool and try to clown the guy. Well, now you fucking lost, and now you look fucking stupid in the eyes of people that actually know what they're watching. Yeah. All you had to do was just throw a 3 or a 5-piece combination.
Well, he was on Queer Street, bro.
And he was fucked. Yeah. You get him up against the fence and you start blasting him with big hands. I mean, people got to talk about Nate Diaz. Yeah, he's got punching power. He almost knocked out the number 3 contender, a big welterweight.
Yeah.
A guy that is not making 155 pounds like Nate used to. So that's impressive in itself. And you don't go for the finish. It was so frustrating. I don't think I've ever been more frustrated watching a fight than I was last night.
Yeah.
No joke at that.
Well, yeah, we were freaking out here in the studio last night. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why you don't have a better sense of urgency there. It just absolutely blew me away. And I love Nate Diaz. He's a superstar of the sport. I always tune in for this guy fighting. I can't wait for his brother to come back. Yada yada yada, all the talking points. But I just don't understand what the strategy was here and why he didn't try to finish this fight. But I mean, hats off, and we got to get. I feel like we're talking about Nate more than Leon again. But credit to Leon.
That's the big talking point of that
it
fight.
Is.
And that's how unfortunate is that you're Leon Edwards. You dominate for four and a half straight rounds, and then you get caught, and then that's all anyone's talking about is you got caught. It's so sad. It's so unfortunate. The guy's on a 9-fight win streak. He should be the number one contender.
Should be.
It's crazy.
And after in the post fight, that was another thing Dana brought up, which actually I take that back. Dana did not bring it up, but it was a question posed to Dana, which he then responded to. But they said, "What do you think about the Leon Edwards, Jorge Masvidal?" He goes, "Guys, I don't make matches until Tuesday, but we can always make that fight, and that sounds like a good fight." But it's like, why does Leon have to take another top contender in this division? He's won 9.
He doesn't. He could pull a Colby and just fucking sit.
And just wait. Why the fuck can Colby sit on the sidelines since September of last year, beating a guy who'd already lost 2 straight fights in a row, who was dominated for 10 straight rounds before Colby dominated him? Why can he sit out for a year, but Leon can't for a title shot? It's just like, and he's won 9 fights in a row. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm team Leon Edwards here.
Absolutely.
And it's like Edwards is trying to be active. He had that Bilal incident, which was super unfortunate. So then he takes on a big name like Nate Diaz, wins that fight, dominates the fight for 4.5 rounds. It's like, dude, again, what more can this man do? Does he really now have to go take on another guy who just fought for the belt and lost, Jorge Masvidal, before he gets a shot? He's got to win 10 fights in a row? No, fuck that. I think Leon Edwards can take a year off. He can wait for Colby and Usman, and he needs to be the next guy in line. The same way that Dana White came out and said for Robert Whittaker, no, Robert gets the next shot. He doesn't have to fight again. He should be saying that same shit for Leon Edwards right now, and he's not. And it's egregious. It makes me mad.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, gun to your head, do you think that's what happens? Does Leon wait and get the title shot eventually after this Colby Usman rematch, or do they make the Jorge Masvidal?
They're going to make the whole. I think. Well, yeah, that's an interesting question because Nate's coming off a loss now too. I don't know.
I almost say you do Nate Jorge or Nick Jorge, and then you just let Leon chill. I mean, who does Jorge fight then? At that point, Conor McGregor after he gets knocked out by Poirier again.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
There's options. There's a lot of options with these guys. And Leon Edwards, he deserves to wait.
Yeah.
Deserves to wait, and I hope he does. I hope he doesn't just take a fight.
Same.
The worst thing ever would be he takes Jorge Masvidal fight, and Jorge lands the luckiest fucking 3-piece in a soda of all 3 pieces in a soda ever thrown, knocks Leon the fuck out. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'd be jacked if it happens. I'd be really jacked.
Well, and it would come full circle, too, from that London card. I mean, think about that, dude. All those years ago. I remember watching that live when they were in London. And, they're backstage, and Jorge Masvidal hits him 3 times, throws a 3-piece in a soda, whatever is what, the famous coined expression. But, yeah, that was wild.
That's the fight that should have been made in the first place. If he had to fight somebody, why Nate Diaz and not Jorge Masvidal? I get it. He was fighting Usman, and that was already scheduled. Usman threw the biggest wrench in the world in this division when he took that fight.
Yeah.
But that should have been the fight to make. You don't make Bilal Muhammad or Leon Edwards versus Hamzat Chimaev. No. Like, I'm sorry. If there's anyone that he should have fought, it should have been the 3-piece in the soda in the first place. Jorge never takes that fight. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yep, I agree.
Absolutely. It's unfortunate. So Nate Diaz, he did lose. And everyone's saying no matter what, people are giving so much respect to him. People keep on saying win, lose, or draw. Nate Diaz is a legend. He's the man. Yep. He always shows
He's a draw.
out.
And he's 100% who he is.
Yes.
There's no fluff. And that's even the thing with Nate Diaz. And that's why I don't hate the guy. That's why I'm mad at the fact that he didn't try to finish, but that's just who Nate is. He's just he's like that street fighter that, anytime, anywhere. I mean, did you guys watch that? I forget who the fighter was, but where they were fighting, him and Nick were fighting in the hospital after their fight.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, it's like a giant. It was a story on one of the ESPN Plus, and I watched it via Facebook when they posted on ESPN, and I was like, dude, these Diaz bros are just crazy, but they're legit 100% who they are.
They're authentic.
Yep,
That's for real.
totally authentic. But what do we do for Nate Diaz now? I got to be honest. Jorge Masvidal coming off a loss, Nate Diaz coming off a loss. Let's do the BMF belt
Or McGregor.
Or McGregor. After he loses to Poirier, I like that. And then you could do the Nate and Connor trilogy and then do Jorge Nick for the BMF belt. I like that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hit us up, UFC. You know, I know Sean Shelby, he's getting his work. But, you know, sometimes you need some fresh faces in there making matches. And, you know,
Exactly.
we got our shit together.
We do.
Nate versus Tony at 170. Okay, Aunt W. You're going off the rails, and I absolutely fucking love it. I would love to see that. Would you not? At 170 pounds, Nate versus Tony? Sign me the fuck up.
I know, but we were just talking about how Tony, like, we didn't even want to see him fight anyone in the top 15.
Yeah, but Nate Diaz is, I think that's a little different.
Yeah. I'm not that stoked for that one, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm really not. I'm really not. I'm just, yeah. I think I want to see Tony in the win column, and I don't want to see Nate in losing another fight either. So it's like that's kind of a lose-lose for me as a fan, and I just don't want to see that right now for both their careers. So I'd rather give a fresher face to Tony and then let Nate take one of those big fights like Connor or Jorge.
I don't know. I think both of these guys are on the tail ends of their careers. I think they only have a couple fights left.
For sure.
This is a big money fight, in my opinion. So, I mean, if you were ever going to want to make a big money fight, big payday for both guys, a main event of a fight night on ABC, that might be the one. That might be the one. I would totally be A-okay with that.